fellow gardeners. It's Dawn from Seasonal Designs. I garden here in Wisconsin, Zone 5. Today is July 11th, and I thought we should get out and take a look at everything that is blooming in the gardens and the prairie. And I also wanted to remind you that if you want to see my garden in person this year, that you can do that because I'm going to be on Garden Conservancy's Open Days Garden Tours happening this year, 2024, on August 10th and 11th. Now you do have to buy tickets in advance for any of the gardens, and you can do that by going to gardenconservancy.org, looking for Wisconsin Open Days, and finding the garden you want to see. Mine is called Glasshouse in the Prairie. You can also email me, seasonaldesignsbydawn112@yahoo.com, and I will send you the link to that website. Now, if you come, please come and find me and tell me you watch me on YouTube, because I would love to meet you in person. Until then, let's get started with the tour. These have turned out really lovely this year. Mandevilla vine in the center. Petunia, unknown petunia, I grew from seed. Creeping Jenny down the center. There's some Bidens right in the middle here. Little globe amaranth. And they're perfect for flanking my back patio. Tying in the pink and white in a container on the corner here. I am starting some of my kale right there. I think the last video we did, I still had my pagoda dogwood here, and that was dying. So that has been taken out, and we've replaced that with an eastern redbud. I've simply underplanted it with annuals this year that really need to start getting going here. This has been in for maybe 3 weeks. And then my favorite garden space really is this right here. And things are looking quite a bit different than the last time. Last time we were at the purple section of the year because the Nepeta was blooming, the salvia was blooming. There was a lot of purple. Now we're pinks and yellows. Stakey's Humalo here. Moonshine Yarrow. And there is a reason they call it Moonshine Yarrow, and I have a picture. I'll pop it up. I took it at night and you could see the yarrow. It was shining. Summer Beauty Allium are now also starting to color up. Things are really progressing along quickly this year, I feel. Echinacea Pixie Meadow Bright. Tall blue phlox, a couple of pockets of that. I really feel like everything is very tall and a little floppy this year. Last year, this did not happen. I think it's because of all the rain that we've received. Probably for the last, almost 3 months, we have gotten rain like almost every other day. I'm not kidding you. It's unreal the amount of rain we've gotten this year. Golden showers, Coreopsis right here, just loaded with beautiful blooms. You can see the Bobo hydrangeas right up there, starting to turn color. They are just loaded with, everything is just loaded with blooms this year. Now this is my Salvia Wasui. A lot of it I cut back, so it is flushing again. There is still some spent blooms in here. I tried to cut a lot of it off, and then some of these were probably just later on. I could come back and clean that up a little bit if I have time. Carl Forester grass. We'll just kind of come right up here. So maybe I'll walk back here on this little rock ledge and just kind of take a look from above at everything that's going on in here. Different patches of different things. Autumn moorgrass in here, really pretty coloring. More Pixie Meadow Bright. Oh, that phlox this year is absolutely stunning. So pretty. And knock on wood, the deer didn't eat it initially. I really tried to keep it sprayed, but just so pretty. And then boom, here we are at the greenhouse. My containers starting to put on some growth and some color. My containers, I feel like, have been slow to get going. The Amsonia is done here. And you can also see that I did cut back all the Nepeta here. And it will flush again and it will bloom again. I also cut back some of the Max Fry geranium as well. This is prime, I would say, people. This is really prime time for this garden. Some of this stuff will last a while. Some of it will start to fade. You know, the allium then will get bigger and brighter. But this is gorgeous. Hopefully in another month here, it'll just be really rocking. Like this half over here just looks gorgeous and full. The other half needs to get moving. All right, we are in the prairie, and if you remember the last video, this whole entire area was filled with lupin. It was just solid purple. Now the lupin are doing their thing. They're making their seed. And eventually on some hot summer day, if you come out, you hear pops, and because the pods are kind of popping and the seeds are being sprinkled. But now what is going to take over are the echinacea. This is Echinacea purpurea, and it is starting to fill in, and then soon some of the coneflowers will also bloom in here. But they are just starting to open. This area here is just packed with them, and they're just really starting. The echinacea that blooms first that I've not had in my prairie that I have been trying to add is this Echinacea palladia. And let me just show you the flower close up. So I put some plugs in earlier this year, and I also have been adding seed for the last couple of years. And this is probably the seed. So when we burn, we get down to the ground, I come out and I add more seed. And I typically try to introduce other things. So I'm very excited to see the Echinacea palladia here. Isn't that pretty? It just has a different, definitely a different shape. It's a bit more delicate, and it is the native Echinacea here. All right, so I'm out on the path in the prairie, and I just am showing you where we are, as well as I want to show you, do you see this big wave, all of the same foliage? That is something called Maximilian sunflower, and it is pretty aggressive. It is one of the flowers that was in our mix. I have never in the 5, 6, 7, 8 years we've had this prairie seen a patch get that enormous. And it gets a tall stalk with yellow flowers all the way up. They kind of wave in the wind. It's incredible. So this is going to be kind of a crazy sight this year, and I'll make sure that we check it out. But over here, this is a Heliopsis. And there's a big patch of it here on this back half of the prairie that is blooming. And it is really pretty. This Clematis, Madame Julia, was so gorgeous this year. I probably should come in and cut some of the spent blooms off because we can't extend her bloom time. I'm one of a million things I have to deadhead. I'll pop a picture up of what she looked like. Gorgeous. But look at the hydrangea. This is Annabelle. Oh, isn't that beautiful? My goodness. Yes, I love it. Stuff is starting to bloom here. Ah, my big patch of milkweed. Look at that. I love the milkweed, like a big patch of it here and there in my prairie. I just think they're gorgeous when they bloom, and obviously the monarchs love them. But yeah, I do really like them. Let's see. My allium are blooming over here. My hostas, I've been spraying. So far, so good. But my drumstick allium blooming right in here. A couple more milkweed. I'm not sure I want those there. Japanese forest grass, looking lovely. Astilbe are done. These two were absolutely gorgeous. Little vignette here with the bird of paradise. Looking lovely. Hosta's looking gorgeous. Green velvet boxwood. My containers are doing really well right now. Another Coreopsis. This is Zagreb. It's a shorter variety. Tons of blooms. Things are starting over here. We'll go this way first and then we'll come back. I think the last time we looked, the spiderwort was in full bloom. It still is blooming, but not quite as profusely. But right in front of it is some more astilbe. Okay, I should have maybe taken that off the bench. It needs a repair, and I just don't want anybody to sit on it and bust the one. There's a piece of wood in there that needs to get replaced. Not the greatest look from a video, sorry. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous with the astilbe? Oh my goodness. Oh, look at this bee. He's going to town. They really go to town in the morning here. Can you see him? And then right behind this is the bed I did with all of the plants from Monrovia. And could not be happier with the way this turned out. Again, what really pops is going to be that this is all gold Japanese forest grass. And then right behind it is Gatemba golden Japanese spikenard. And it is just so stunning. But everything in here looks so good. Even the Brilliance autumn ferns still have their beautiful color on them. Just thrilled with all of this. Brennera. And look at this, beautiful big leaves. No slug damage, no deer chomps. Yet right across the way, and I spray this stuff. The deer have been eating my hostas. Stupid deer. Bird bath that I've had in my garden for the last couple of years from my mom. That was in her garden, love it. Amelia Shasta daisies are blooming. More of my drumstick allium. Echinacea purpurea is starting to bloom. My bee balm. The veronica. Some cleome here. My delphiniums were here. I removed those or cut them back and added something for some color. This container's looking lovely this year as well. Just so pretty. Blazing Star, Lataris starting to bloom. This is the same Clematis, Madame Julia. This stuff is gonna start to bloom, but not yet. This is a beautiful little patch. Some of this I put in just this year, like actually just a couple of weeks ago. This is a coneflower called Kismet Raspberry from Monrovia. Absolutely love the color. I thought it paired so lovely with this is Coreopsis called Red Elf. It may look red, but it's certainly, or it may be called red, but it's kind of the same color as this raspberry. And I just thought that would be so gorgeous together. And then the Russian sage, which is, I think it's denim and lace. The Stokesia right here. So pretty. And that next year, I think that'll be just gorgeous, all filled in. Ground sedum. More allium. Arizona red shades here. And then this is the bed we put in last year. It has been struggling some. I think I know we've had a lot of rain, and a lot of my Nepeta and Salvia on this side of the garden really have struggled. Like I had to cut some of this all the way to the ground because it looked horrible. I mean, it just does not look good. It's getting too much. It does not like to be this wet. But I have the coneflowers that are loving it. So this is Rainbow Marcella. And let's find one when it opens. When it opens, it's more orange, like this. And then it starts to get a little bit of the pink coloring in it. And as it ages, it becomes more intense. And then as it's nearing the end, it kind of goes to pink. So just on one plant, it looks like it's just this beautiful shades of this salmony pink color that I just absolutely love. I mean, when these fill in like that, ooh, sorry, almost fell. That one right there is, I had to stick in, that's new. So there are some smaller ones in here, but just beautiful. And then right behind it is the bubblegum echinacea, which is also amazing. I mean, look at the head on this thing. This is a double. These are not pollinator friendly. Everything else in this garden is pollinator friendly. This little patch here is not, but it's gorgeous. You might notice that I have one that's not the right color. That one needs to come out. I just haven't done it yet. I can't bring myself to pull it out. Some phlox is going to be starting in here soon. But just, these are just so gorgeous. And then here's a bubble gum that really probably should have been over here. And then I have Russian sage in here as well. So I don't know if you guys saw the video when I did this bed. A lot of stuff I got was mismarked. And so it didn't even bloom. Some stuff didn't bloom last year. So I was really guessing. I'm like, well, this could be this echinacea, but it might not be. So still needing to do some work here in this bed. And then last, let's just take a look here at, this is the garden shed. I don't have my wreath up yet. The shed just got painted and it's looking really, really nice. But I've got a wreath I'm gonna put on the door. I'm still doing some cleanup. I've got some branches over here that have to get removed. We were doing some tree trimming. But this is the echinacea that I originally got for this bed because it was mismarked, and that's why there's still one in that bed. It never bloomed last year. I had no idea. But aren't they're gorgeous? Just wasn't the color that I was looking for in that bed. However, I made a new bed and that's where I planted them, and I love them there. Just so pretty. And my gardenia tree is blooming this year, and I'm just thrilled. Beyond thrilled. It smells so wonderful. Oh my gosh, I am just so happy that that is looking and doing so much better. This is a lily from my mom's garden. I just think it's a gorgeous color. These containers are doing well. Everything is doing pretty good over here. This little bed is starting to fill in. That is it for today's garden tour. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments section. What is blooming in your garden? And have you had any struggles this year? Not enough rain, too much rain. I'm always curious as what's going on in other people's garden in other parts of not only my state, but the country. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.